Mr. Stone, you are the president of the Open Society Foundation. You are the international expert in criminal justice reform as well as the leadership and governance on non-profits. So how would you describe human rights issues here in Indonesia?
Well, Indonesia has been one of the open, I think, most democratic, most promising countries in the region. It's a place I like to come because the people here are working hard to build a democracy, to build an open society, and to build a society that works for everyone. This isn't something you see in every country, and so it's always inspiring for me to be here.
So what are your opinions on the human rights issues that's been going on here in Indonesia, though?
Well, I mean, the human rights issues in any country are always complicated. There's need for dissent, there's need to be tolerant, there's need to respect the rights of everyone, and in a society as pluralistic, as diverse, as large as Indonesia, that's always a challenge. It takes a confident society, it takes an understanding society to handle the difference, the disagreements, the tensions that come in any open democratic society. I think that my experience of Indonesia is that the society is growing stronger and stronger in its ability to do that. But that doesn't mean there aren't moments of nervousness, of tension, and sometimes of doubt.
Mr. Stone, what are your strategies in achieving equal human rights on a global scale, considering that Western countries at times have different reforms compared to countries in Asia?
I think it's really helpful to focus on things that just matter to people every day. The right to education, the right to health, the right to a decent job. These aren't abstract ideas about human rights, they are the basics of what people everywhere need and want. So we at the Open Society Foundations work on all of these things, as well as working on access to justice, rule of law, anti-corruption, good governance. You can talk about these as human rights, you can just talk about them as what makes a decent society.
Mr. Stone, could you tell us a little bit more about the Open Society Foundation here in Indonesia? What are the activities?
The TIFA Foundation in Indonesia was created 15, 16 years ago by Indonesian citizens who wanted to strengthen an open democratic society here. And it's been working steadily since then on a wide array of projects. The rights of migrant workers when they leave Indonesia, when they return, to make sure that their rights are respected not only here, but in the countries where they go to work. Working on transitional justice, on reconciliation in Aceh, trying to make sure that there is a viable process to deal with the gravest, most serious crimes, but also bring people together, understand the experiences of people, whether they're victims of crimes or of the conflict, or whether they are members of the security services or the military, to bring people together to build a future together. Whether it's working in right to information, to understand where money moves in the society, to understand who benefits from extractive industries, from forestry, to work on issues of climate and climate adaptation. All of these are essential to an open society.
Mr. Stone, you mentioned bringing people together in a country like Indonesia where diversity is very clear. So what are the main challenges that you face here?
I think with any country where there is a large amount of corruption or a large amount of injustice, not necessarily Indonesia, I'm talking about countries around the world, when you face a problem that is widespread, where the tension, where the distrust is widely shared in a community, the challenge is how to get going. You can't solve massive injustice. You can't move past a major conflict. You can't deal with great corruption all at once. You have to start small. You have to start with understanding. You have to start dealing with the most serious cases so that people understand that this isn't going to change everything in their lives. You're not going to solve all the problems. You're not going to cure all of the injustices at once, but progress is possible. And that's the biggest challenge, is getting people to relax enough, to be confident enough, to work for a better society without feeling they're going to lose everything.